Hello and welcome to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. My name is John Carissimo and this show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every single Friday to help you understand how to grow your real estate business. And we've got a lot of stuff we're going to be talking about today, all about succeeding regardless of what economy it is. If you're watching this live right now or you're watching this 10 years from now, whenever it is that you're tuning in to find out the secrets to real estate. And look, this isn't just me from my own career, because I learned a lot with my own career getting started in real estate, but I learned even more through others, just because the people that I've helped through real estate have gone on, some of them, to do way more real estate than I've ever done. And there's been quite a few of those people. You know, thousands of people starting their real estate careers. It's a lot that I oversee. Multiple broker licenses. I'm the director here at Tampa School of Real Estate. So there's a lot of things it is that I've learned over the years, not just from my own career, not just that I picked up from my dad when he started his real estate career over like 25 years ago now, not just when my little brother got into real estate and he was starting his business and he had challenges that were completely different than mine. And on top of that, again, seeing so many people get started in real estate. But let's talk about you guys here today, because we are live. This is a very special time because we are live on the air. You may be tuning in at our Success Center. Maybe you're on YouTube. Maybe you're on Facebook. If you're on YouTube or Facebook, hit that little bell icon so you don't miss out on any of the future videos we put out. And really the best thing, if you check your email, go to tsre.us and put your email in on that website. If you prefer text messages, text the word SUCCESS to 813-333-2676. That's SUCCESS to 813-333-2676. And we'll subscribe you to updates with this information to help you better understand real estate. You might not even have a license yet. Maybe you've already had a license. Maybe you've been doing real estate for years, but you're constantly looking for new information to grow and expand your business. That's what I hope to share with you today. And, you know, some of these things you might already know, but here's the thing. A lot of things need reminding. But there might be a secret or two here today, even if you're the most seasoned professional, that you might not have known. And so if you find this information beneficial, useful, please share it with someone who also would find it beneficial and useful, because that's why we do these episodes. You don't have to be a Tampa School of Real Estate student to come join us on State of Real Estate every Friday to learn how to grow and expand your real estate business. So we've got a great show for you today. My name is John Carissimo. You're watching State of Real Estate.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. My name is John Carissimo. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. And welcome to everyone tuning in online to expand their real estate business. So what we're talking about today is expanding in this economy. And let me start off with secret number one here. Let's go to the board. Secret number one. Number one is to be careful. Be careful where you get info. If you're just tuning in today and you're skeptical of this guy over here on YouTube, I mean, yeah, I've got this fancy little whiteboard that I'll be honest with you, I'm still trying to figure out how to use it 100%. So what do I know? So if you don't know me, if you're not familiar with me, maybe you took one of my classes to get a real estate license. Maybe you're one of my agents at one of my brokerages. And if you don't know me yet, my name is John Chrismo. I'm a Florida Real Estate Commission instructor, a broker, multiple licenses. Been with Tampa School of Real Estate since we started back in 2007. And, I've been a part of, several thousands of people, not just getting started in real estate, but expanding their real estate careers to next levels. That's why I got more into, that's really part of the reason why I started my first brokerage. It was a group effort with a couple other brokers that we started it up because we were all busy, but we wanted to help take people to that next step. And it's a really rewarding, fulfilling experience. But the point is here, I'm not trying to brag or anything like that. The point is I want to show you the receipts. These are the receipts. And if you really want receipts, I've got actually a stack of file. Everything now is all digital, but I got like a file that's like this thick with paper receipts, essentially. But look, it's not just where, you're considering a career path. It's everyday information. Because your everyday information a lot of times is wrong. Wrong, misleading, false, incorrect. There's a lot of information that's out there. Maybe you're tuning in on YouTube. I've seen some pretty crazy stuff on YouTube. Videos that make me cringe, and not just the videos of people hurting themselves. That's crazy. You see people like jumping with like motorcycles and getting into some sort of accident. I don't know why people watch that. But that's kind of what it's like if you're watching misinformation about your financial future. I'm not just some guy on the internet. We've got licenses. We're certified by the Florida Real Estate Commission, the Department of Business and Professional Regulation. There's a lot of checks and balances that we have because we are a school that's authorized to provide the courses required to get a real estate license. And we're held to a very high standard. And that's why we started these videos, because way back, years back, I think it was 2016 is when we first started doing these live streams. We started that because we knew there was misinformation out there. We just didn't know how bad it was going to get. Here we are 6 years later, and the misinformation is ridiculous. So be careful where you get your information from. But here's what I'm also talking about, the news. Because when does the news talk about good news? They usually don't. So be careful where you're getting your news info from. If you want to ingest news, find out. If you're in real estate and you want to ingest news, you should be staying up to date and current about news in your market. So number one is be careful where you get your info. Number two, another, be careful. And it's be careful with your time. Now look, we're getting to the good ones. If you're on here and you're like, of course, John, I know to be careful. Look, remember, a lot of this stuff needs reminding. And we're going to get to some good stuff. But before we get to some good stuff, we need some reminding. And you might know this. I mean, you're probably told that growing up at some point. The thing I remember predominantly is don't talk to strangers. That was like the number one advice that my mom specifically, not to call her out on anything, but she definitely wanted to make sure I didn't talk to strangers. Stranger danger. Little kid that there was weird things going on in the world. Still is today. But when I was growing up, there definitely was. So hey, don't talk to strangers. You don't want to get abducted or kidnapped or whatever it is that could happen, and oh my God, what a terrible place the world is. And that stuff messes people up. But I wish this was something that was taught a lot more. Instead of be careful where you get your info, we force kids basically through an educational prison system where sometimes there's really great teachers. I remember I'm a product of the public education system, so I just went to public schools. I didn't have the luxury of being able to go to private schools, anything like that. My school was on taxpayer dollar. Public education system right here, guys. And you don't need college to get a real estate license. You just need to be 18 and have a high school diploma or its equivalent. And I was talking to one of my agents yesterday. He's like, John, I'm a high school dropout, but what I've been able to do beyond that, it's unreal. Now, he eventually did go on to get his GED or some sort of high school equivalent to get his real estate license, because, again, you do have to have that. But you don't have to have anything further than just a high school diploma or its equivalency. But let's go back to high school. Let's talk about high school. Let's talk about middle school, elementary school. And again, I've had some great teachers going up through that public education system. I got lucky. But at the same time, I was unlucky, I would say, with some teachers. Where rather than people that, they would want me to look up to them. Why, if you don't look up to somebody, how are you going to take in the information? Well, why would you look up to a prison guard? And I'm sure some of you can relate. My dad used to joke with me about calling it school. Because it was cruel. It was school and it was cruel. But he would not be happy if I ever wasn't at school. Despite his understanding that, yeah, it's a little cruel, but you got to go there. But it's almost like we're taught growing up to, well, it doesn't matter where the information comes from as long as you get it. Absolutely not. And especially when it comes to finances and money. Now, look, there's a lot of people that are teachers that come to us to go either replace their income or expand their income. Maybe they love teaching, they don't want to give up teaching, but they don't want to just make teacher wages. And look, teachers do a lot, but it isn't a 24/7 job, and I know that because I have agents that are teachers that sell real estate part-time. And that's because they love to teach and they want to do real estate on the side. Now, if you got somebody like that that's well-rounded, that could teach you about some financial things here and there, that actually has their financial ship in order. And that's, again, be careful where you get your info from. Is the math teacher just teaching math? Or is the math teacher teaching you how to be an employee? And maybe if this teacher isn't enthusiastic, that's even teaching you as a child. I mean, we're so impressionable that, it's okay to just be unenthusiastic about life. It's okay. I mean, is that who you want your kids looking up to? Someone who's unenthusiastic, who basically just gets by? Who is an embarrassment almost even to themselves? I have some teachers looking back on, they were funny, but I look back on them and I was like, wow, that person's life was not in order. But at the same time, they're charismatic or cool or whatever it is. And so I'm like, oh yeah, I like this teacher. And if they're sharing any bad information, even just being a bad example, that's the information that you don't even realize you're taking in, is what around you is an example that you're subconsciously absorbing. What bad habits are around you that you're picking up just by proximity? So be careful where you get your info. We'll put number 3 on that. Be careful of your surroundings. And you might be saying, wow, John, maybe if you're new to real estate, you might be saying, wow, is there really so much stuff to be careful of? Yes, absolutely. The world is a crazy place, which is why a lot of people find safety and security in jobs that don't even pay that well. Because when you have to think for yourself entirely almost, that's a challenge that most people don't encounter on a daily basis. Most jobs don't require you to think autonomously, where you're having to make decisions, where it's not just all spelled out for you. That's what you see with a lot of the corporatization of a lot of bigger, larger organizations. I mean, look at Amazon. They're literally saying they don't even know how it got so big or how it got that big. And it's because of the standardization and the execution of that standardization and the efficiency that they're able to become this behemoth. But now what that does is that now limits the smaller opportunities that are out there with these bigger, and it's not just Amazon, it's any of these bigger companies. But that's how you have to create your business. But now the difference is you've got to do the thinking about it. You're the one that's building it, which the people that can embrace that. And as I said, I mean, you could be a high school dropout and succeed in real estate. You just have to have a high school diploma or its equivalent, so GED or something like that, to get the license, get that in order, Make sure you have a social security number. Even if you're not a U.S. citizen, you can get a social security number. You don't need to be a Florida resident. You don't need to live in Florida. You don't have to be a U.S. citizen, but you do have to have a social security number. You have to have a high school diploma or its equivalent. You have to be 18 years old. Call us up. Let's get you enrolled in a course to get your real estate license so you can make use of this information. And if you're already in the party, because you already have the real estate license, let's get back to these secrets here. So far we've been super vague, super broad, but these are 3 things that you actually need to be the most concerned with. And notice money isn't up here, because money is going to go without saying. You're already protecting your money. Just me mentioning money, you're probably thinking about where your money is. Is it safe? Is it secure? Is anybody trying to commit fraud or take it? Or you know about the money. It's a money-driven world that we live in, if you haven't noticed that already. Without money, there's not much you could do on this planet. But with money, there's very little that actually limits what can be done. And with enough money, it seems like almost anything can be done. Anything can be accomplished. Anything can be achieved. So how do you get in on that? And how do so many people go on to succeed in real estate and make millions of dollars through real estate, sometimes billions of dollars in real estate, while other people might get into real estate and fizzle out before there's anything going on? So that's going to bring me to secret number 4, is be persistent. This is the first one that's not a be careful. So we got be careful where you get your information. Very important that you're getting your information from a good source. That it's legitimate, authentic information. There's, again, because look, false information can seem very accurate. If you haven't noticed that, you've probably picked up on a few things here and there where something wasn't true, but it seemed like it was. It made sense. It seemed like there was evidence until you really got down to it, and it turns out that person was lying, that person wasn't accurate, that person was hiding things, that organization was maybe not everything they said they were. And look, it's a crazy world we live in, but there's ways to validate, to do your due diligence. And that's what a big part of real estate. We'll make that top secret number 5, is do your due diligence. If there's due diligence to do, if there's something to be found out, that's something you maybe want to try to find out. If it's something that's important to a transaction, a real estate investment you're maybe doing, if it's important to furthering a relationship with a client to potentially get to a transaction, so maybe doing some due diligence on a client if you actually act upon that information. So be careful where you're getting your information from. Be careful you're not wasting your time. And that doesn't mean being lazy. You can be very busy and be wasting your time. I know that firsthand because, the people that knew me before real estate, as well as people that know me now in real estate, know that I have a pretty strong work ethic. Before I was even legal working age, I was running my own businesses, multiple different businesses. Then I went on to get my first job, and then I was working multiple jobs, and as well as running businesses and going to school and multiple things that I've been doing my whole life because I've got a strong work ethic. I like what I do. I try to find things that I like to do, and then I get really deep and involved into it and have a lot of fun with it. But despite that energy, despite that effort, there was so much wasted time when I got started. And it was wasted time because I didn't have the info. Or the info I had wasn't the right info. I was getting advice from the agents that were hanging out at the office that weren't productive themselves, where I got different advice, and I got a lot of advice from telemarketers calling me to say, hey, you need a website, you need a CRM, you need this, you need that. That's the reason why you haven't been successful yet with real estate. That's why. And they make it sound really good. They have really good reasoning. But is that really the reason why I wasn't successful? What I found out was that it wasn't. It was something that could benefit my business, but was it the reason I was unsuccessful? No. I was looking for things to blame as why I wasn't successful. Oh, I don't have a website yet, so yeah, I need to go get a website. Oh, my business card doesn't look good enough, so I need to design my business card better. I literally spent, you've probably heard the story. If you've watched any of our episodes before, if not, we'll have to get a clip of that, of the business card story, so that way you can just easily search that up. But long story short is I wasted like 2 weeks of time designing my business card. Unnecessary. Unnecessary completely. Even if you're paying a designer to build your business card, I mean, maybe that's like $50, maybe $100 if you're paying somebody that's fancy to create a business card for you. You know, if it cost me $100 to design this business card, I was working for $50 a week to design a business card because I wasted 2 weeks of time basically doing nothing but designing a business card. I was not careful with my time. That was a very poor use of time. You know, my business, that was me and myself, basically, there wasn't even any money to pay myself as the employee. And the money I saved by designing my business card myself, maybe it saved me $100. And if it saved me $100, that means I basically my time was worth only $50 a week. And look, if you're concerned about, well, what if I don't have money for a business card? You want a brokerage that is suited for you. And that's going to be secret number 6. Make sure your brokerage fits you. Fits your plan, your business plan. So you need to make sure your brokerage fits your plan. If you don't have a plan, you need to take post-licensing. Post-licensing is a course that's required after you get your real estate license. The post-licensing course will give you your renewal credit for your first renewal, so it's required. You need to do it. But one of the first things we teach in our post-licensing courses is business planning. So you could have a business plan, so that way you choose a brokerage that fits your business plan, that makes sense for what you're trying to do with real estate. So you want to make sure your brokerage fits your plan. And look, here's the thing. You could pretty much always change brokerages. Now, your listings are agreements with the brokerage, not your specifics, unless you're the broker. So ultimately, if you have listings, check with what your independent contractor agreement says as far as if you want to leave. You'll have an independent contractor agreement, and most of the time you could just leave at any point. But listings are property of the broker. Maybe there's some sort of referral agreement. Maybe they'll just say, nope, these are our listings. That's usually not the case. It's usually not that extreme. Maybe they might even just transfer the listing to your new brokerage, especially if it's the new listing that they don't even want. They're like, yeah, you could have it. So you've got to make sure that brokerage fits your plan. And, you know, at any point, you could go join a new brokerage. But is that something you want to be doing? Do you want to just be bouncing around brokerage to brokerage, joining a brokerage and then saying no and going somewhere else, then coming back to that brokerage and then leaving again? Is that what you want to do? And then maybe going to another brokerage after that, and then another brokerage then, and another brokerage then, because you're just lost and you're just drifting through the world? Does that sound like something that's going to lead you to be a top producing agent? No. And so how do you avoid that? How do you avoid this type of path to success and take the straight line path? How do you go straight to your success? Tip number 7, secret number 7. Don't guess. Don't guess. Verify. I like to subscribe to the saying, trust, but verify. If you've ever heard someone say that before, let me know who. I'm curious. Trust, but verify. Drop that in the comments if you know who said trust, but verify, where you've heard that from. I like it because, you know, even if you think you know something, well, I guess I know that. That's what they said yesterday. Well, maybe something's changed where today that's different. So don't guess, verify. 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 Step number 8. Step number 8. Top secret. Secret number 8. I feel like we're going through steps here. We are getting bigger as we go down the list. That's me zooming out here to make this all fit. Let's recap before we go into number 8. So number 1, careful where you get your info. Again, if you're just tuning in now, Freck instructor, broker with multiple licenses, been with the Tampa School of Real Estate since 2007, helped thousands of people, not just at my own brokerage, but throughout the entire state of Florida with students from over 40 countries around the world coming through Tampa School of Real Estate. There's a lot of things that I've learned over the years. So be careful where you get your info. Make sure you're getting your information. They don't necessarily have to have the same qualifications or as much qualifications, but make sure they've got some sort of qualification. Make sure it's not information that's going to lead you to wasting your time. The telemarketers calling me, they led me to wasting my time setting up a website that I later found once I launched my website, no one was going on my website because I had these super expensive business cards I wasted all my time designing because I didn't have any proper guidance, and I was getting info from telemarketers. I was getting info from agents that were just hanging out at the office that don't do business. They just kind of hang out look, there were people I'd see there that were working. They weren't the talkers. I wasn't getting any advice from them because they were too busy. I'd see the people coming in and out on their phone because they had to come pick up a check to go cash a check, or they were always picking up checks, it seemed like. I was like, oh, I want to be like them. Let me talk to these dummies over here playing football or mini golf or whatever it is. Let me talk to them because obviously that's the right source of information. And look, if anyone feels like, wow, that really hits with me, don't take it as a personal attack. I'm talking to myself. I don't know how many years ago when I first got my real estate license, because I wish I found this guy. I wish these videos could go back in time and I could watch them when I first got started in real estate. I don't know, maybe I would. All these time travel movies, you're like, dude, you can't change the past. Would you end up in the same place? I don't know. If I could know what I know now when I got started in real estate, I can't imagine where I'd be right now. And that's the thing. This is why I talk about your time up here, not about your money. Because the money comes and goes, and the money is unlimited. The time just goes. The time is not unlimited. The time is not infinite. The time is limited. The time can never be bought back. The time never comes back to you. But there's infinite money in the world. There's literally infinite money. We could go into a deep economics lesson about Federal Reserve banks and so on and so forth and how lending works, but go read Rich Dad, Poor Dad stuff if you want to get deeper into that. Money is basically made up and it's unlimited. We need it. This is a money-driven world. Even though it's unlimited and it's made up, we all believe it's worth something, and so that's why it's worth something. But the thing we need to make sure we're leveraging most is our time. Your job that, people are excited that minimum wage is going up in Florida. You know what I say? Big deal. Oh, minimum wage went up? Okay, big deal. You're making $11 instead of $10 an hour? Cool. Well, gas is double what it was a year ago. So is that extra dollar going to cover the double of your gas price? And it's because you're getting your information from the wrong place. You got your information from somebody who said, we raised minimum wage, everything's going to be fixed, everything's going to be better. No, it's not. It just raises the bar. It just changes the game. It's just shaking up the place. And if you're smart about it, you could take advantage of the chaos. That's step number 8. And that's what's especially important whenever there's market shifts, whenever there's dynamics of the economy changing in some way that's causing shifts. That's where investors swoop in to take advantage of the chaos. Some of the best deals in real estate were purchased in 2010. Now, if we rewind back 12 years ago from this day, we go back 12 years ago from today, back to 2010, I'd basically have to beg you to even think about buying real estate. Because the economy was terrible, unemployment was high, interest rates were but it was difficult to get a loan. There were lots of properties available, but why would you want to buy real estate? It's probably just going to keep dropping in value. That's what people were doing in 2010. Except for the people who are taking advantage of the chaos. You know, when you have a market that's just standard, that's easy because that's predictable. When things aren't changing, that's predictable. But when there's shifts, that's how you take your business to the next level, when you can take advantage and, as they like to say, rolling with the punches. You know, if anyone's, boxed before, maybe you've been in some sort of fight, and maybe you've heard somebody say roll with the punches. What does that mean? You know, you're rolling with the punches. It means someone's coming at you, you roll out of the way, and boom. Because you take their momentum and use it against them. If you feel like the world is crashing down upon you, you need to roll with the punches. You need to take that momentum. That's why there's so many stories of people hitting rock bottom. I've got my story. When I was starting in real estate, I was so burnt out with the job that I had. I went to school, got what I thought was a good job. Turns out it was just good enough. I started to realize that I'm getting super burnt out. I get my real estate license. I'm trying to start up my real estate business. I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to learn real estate while working a full-time job with no advice, with no training, because the brokerage I chose, I didn't have a plan. What was told to me at brokerage sounded good, but it really didn't fit what I needed to do to achieve the goals it was that I wanted to achieve. Especially being that I really actively avoided information, and so many things it is that I did wrong when I got started in real estate that are my own fault. But there's also so much that if you're transitioning from, just having some sort of job to really, you're trying to level up, you're trying to exponentially expand your life, your income. Real estate can do that. Let's go back to the screen here. But you got to be careful what your surroundings are. Don't get advice from the people talking about politics and throwing around the football. They're not doing deals, obviously. They're struggling. They just make it look good. There's a lot of people that make struggling look good. It's not a good look. I don't like it. Be persistent. There's so many people that I find it hard to believe how often it happens that somebody is so close, and we see after the fact of how close they really were. There's been so many instances where I've actually seen it firsthand of people fizzling out right when they were there because they didn't have that staying power for that little bit extra to get across the finish line. That they basically made it to the finish line and they were basically there and were turning around, or maybe you don't feel like you're at the finish line, but you don't really feel like it, or you are, and you're without the confidence. You won't be able to execute on these secrets. That's secret number 9. Confidence is key. Confidence is key. You've got to be persistent. And as long as you're persistent, you can be confident. Confidence and persistence go hand in hand. Confidence and persistence go hand in hand. Because if you're persistent, why are you persistent? Well, because you're confident you're going to get the results. If you're not confident, why would you be persistent? Does that make sense? If you're not confident, why would you be persistent? Do your due diligence, but don't get wrapped up in it. Don't get wrapped up in the due diligence. Don't get hung up on things. Keep things moving forward. Make sure you have a plan. If you're sure your brokerage fits your plan, if you don't have a plan yet, make that your number 6. Have a plan, and then make sure your brokerage is an appropriate fit for your plan. And if you're not sure about something, don't guess. Verify. Don't guess, verify. That'll help you avoid lawsuits for disclosure of material defects. That'll help you expand your business. That'll help you find out that, what somebody said yesterday has actually changed overnight. Don't guess. verify. If there's chaos going on, if there's something that seems crazy, take advantage of that. Chaos is energy. If you could channel that energy, if you could roll with the punches, you could really, again, break through to those next levels. But confidence is key, because if you're not confident, you see chaos, you're like, oh, I probably got to go run and hide. Look at all that chaos coming. You're not going to be able to take advantage of the chaos if you're running and hiding from it. Confidence is key. So drum roll for secret 10. And you know what? I think before we do secret number 10, let's take a quick commercial break. We're going to be back after this short commercial break. Stick with us. My name is John Carissimo. You're watching State of Real Estate.
Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphones or connect to your car to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com.
Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.
You are watching
State of Real Estate. Every Friday at 12 noon Eastern Time. Grow your real estate business. You're watching State of Real Estate. Hello and welcome back to this week's episode of State of Real Estate. My name is John Carissimo. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. If you don't want to miss updates about these shows, text the word SUCCESS, SUCCESS, to 813-333-2676. I'll put that up here on the board for you. You can now subscribe to our Success Center updates. And so what you want to do is text SUCCESS to 813-333-2676. Text the word SUCCESS to 813-333-2676. And so you might be like, all right, well, what am I signing up here for, John? How much is this going to cost me? I don't know. How much do text messages cost you? That's all there is if there's a cost to this here. We just send you out text, and it's not what it's going to cost you. It's what it's going to gain you. What information can we slide over in your text messages that's going to help you get $1 million idea? Maybe you've already got $1 million idea just from today's episode. You're welcome. No cost. Hit the like button for us if you feel like you've got $1 million idea. Hit a share button if you really feel like you got $1 million idea. But maybe it's not $1 million idea. Maybe you're like, well, this sounds good, but I'm not quite sure about it. Let's go back. Let's go back to number 9. Confidence is key. And that's why we go back to tip number 1. Be careful where you get your info. If you're skeptical about the information you have, it's extremely difficult to be confident when you're skeptical about the information you're given. So you need to establish trust. That's secret number 10. Trust is an extremely powerful word. How do you trust someone? How do you trust information? How do you trust that something isn't fraud? How do you trust that the phone call that you might be getting isn't potential spam of somebody giving you wire transfer instructions from India for a closing that's supposed to be happening in Orlando? How do you trust that this real estate agent isn't some con artist? How do you trust that the information you're seeking isn't just, some get-rich-quick scheme? How do you trust that an organization is legitimately invested in your success, or whether or not there's some sort of pyramid scheme or scam or ripoff or something that's only out to get themselves? How do you know that? Trust. You need to trust. If you don't have any trust, you're not going to be able to get confidence. If you're not confident, you won't be able to take advantage of the chaos. You'll run from it. If you don't have trust, maybe you are verifying things, but you're probably going to over-verify things. So number 7 up here, don't trust, verify. Or don't guess, verify. Trust, but verify. Remember, drop that in the comments again if you know where that might have came from. Who might have said that first? Trust, but verify. You need to establish trust, because if you don't have trust, if your client doesn't trust you, you're going to need to verify almost everything. You've got to verify everything. If you don't trust your broker, how are you going to be confident with the information you're given? If you don't trust that this brokerage that you're joining is the best fit for your long-term success, how are you going to be confident in executing what that brokerage teaches you to execute? Again, you're not confident, you can't take advantage of chaos. Now, what do I mean take advantage of chaos? That's what real estate is. The reason we get paid a 6, 7, maybe more % commission is because it's chaos to buy and sell real estate. And we're shepherds of the chaos. We take advantage of the problems and the chaos and offer solutions. And we establish trust, so we do have to still verify some things to make sure we're all on the same page, to make sure nothing's changed, to make sure you really know what you're talking about. You're not just talking because you're confused. That's a funny thing you'll notice. When you start really thinking for yourself and you really start paying attention to what people really say and do, it makes you wonder, these people even know what they're talking about, or they're just talking to talk? Are they just talking, or they're just words coming out that sound good, but then you really think about what they're saying and you're like, well, wait a minute, what are they even talking about? What does that even mean? If you ever find somebody who likes to use big words and pretend like because they know these big words, they're better than you, that's the #1 sign of insecurity. If someone likes to use acronyms and big words, I know, I used to be that person. Trust me, guys, again, all these tips up here, the only reason I share these secrets with you is there's, to some degree, things that I encountered through my own careers and then through much other degrees, seeing through thousands of other agents getting started in real estate, that these are essentials. These are things that are often taken for granted, where these need to be things that you're living by. These need to be your commandments, your 10 commandments of a successful real estate career. To be careful where you get your information from, to be careful with your time, to be careful of your surroundings, to be persistent, to do your due diligence, to make sure that not just your brokerage, but make sure everything fits your plan. Let's take that out of here, because it's not just about the brokerage. That makes it, as a new agent, that seems like it's your everything. Oh, the brokerage I choose, that's going to be the make it or break it for my career. You could succeed at any brokerage. It's just a question of how and how long and how quickly. Because if you're persistent, you could succeed almost through any channel, especially if there's somewhat of a decent level of information. But make sure everything fits your plan. If a client doesn't fit your plan, you don't have to work with that client. Does that mean you just throw money away? No, you refer it away. You don't want to work with them. Hey, look, I'm so busy, and you know what? Based on what you told me, there's actually somebody that I know that probably is going to be a lot better to serve what you're specifically looking for. They're probably a little bit more of a specialist in this area. I'm still here for you, any questions you have, but I really want you to have somebody that could be dedicated, that would have a lot better answers in regards to what you're specifically wanting. Well, I just want to buy a house in the Riverview area. Don't you live there? Yeah, but honestly, here's another thing. I'm just super busy right now as well. I'm super busy right now, and the areas that you're looking in here. So this could be somebody that you can't stand, that you don't want to work with. If you could stomach a conversation to make a connection with another real estate agent, that could be worth 25% of their commission. just for making the connection, or whatever percentage it is you negotiate for that referral fee. Referral fees are negotiable. So make sure everything fits your plan. Again, if it doesn't fit your plan, refer it out. You know, a lot of new agents specifically, so if you're a new agent, this might be something that you might need to listen to here. A lot of new agents get excited about commercial real estate. And I completely understand commercial real estate is exciting because there's huge deals, big money, big buildings, numbers, especially if you're a numbers person. Honestly, if you're a numbers person, you've got a numbers background like accounting or something like that, that might be where I would consider, you know, looking into working in a commercial real estate team. Because the way it works, there are a couple of agents here and there, little mom and pop shops that kind of do, you know, just one person doing little deals here and there for commercial, but the big deals, the multi-million-dollar deals are done by teams at big name commercial brokerages. And you trying to do that when you don't have any of the commercial tools, when you don't have the commercial support, when you don't have the attorneys on staff to create the specific documents you need for that transaction, it becomes almost impossible to do commercial real estate. But that being said, I've seen countless occasions where agents are brand new to real estate and they're like, I got a commercial deal, it's going to be huge. Oh, okay, but all the training you've done, everything you know, I mean, granted, you're licensed for everything, and that's something that, you know, I appreciate the government being kind of hands-off on things because that fits my philosophy in a lot of ways. But honestly, you got to choose a specialty. You got to have a plan. Now, if something doesn't fit your plan, I'm not saying throw away the multi-million-dollar deal. I'm saying refer it. Negotiate yourself a 20, 30, 40, 50% referral fee, whatever you can negotiate for the referral of that deal to a brokerage that has the tools and the resources to accomplish these goals. Now, if it's a smaller deal, you might be able to handle that in-house. But if it's a bigger deal, not only is it a bigger payday, it's also a bigger workload a lot of times, especially in commercial real estate. That's not typically the case in residential. A house is usually a house. It could be a $100,000 house or a multi-million-dollar house. Maybe a little bit variation in what you're doing to market it, but overall the process is very similar. Commercial brokerages, any of these other special types of brokerages, which your license allows you to do, again, requires specialized knowledge. And you know, you could just easily get wrapped up into some of this specialized knowledge that's not going to fit your long-term plan. Maybe you have this one deal here, this one commercial deal, but will you have another one after that? How many more will you get? Do you even like doing this? Or is it just because, well, I got to make money somehow, so this is the obvious choice, let me try to do it, and I'm greedy, I want it all, because I'm not going to refer it out. I can't throw it away, and I want it all. You got to break that mindset. So that way you can refer the business out. If you've got to be honest with yourself. You got to be honest with yourself. You've got to be confident in what you can do. Confidence is key. Be confident in what you can do so you realize what doesn't fit your plan. So that way you can still make money off of it by referring it out instead of blowing up the deal and wasting your time along the way, so you get basically paid nothing for a lot of time invested and maybe even money invested into the deal as well. Maybe you're marketing a listing or something like that. So that's why it's important that you have a plan, that you can stick to the plan. Make sure the information for your plan, that you got information about building that plan from a good source of information. Don't guess, verify. If you guess that, oh yeah, that commercial deal will be easy. That commercial deal will be just like a residential. You'd easily fall into that trap and put yourself in a situation that you realize you're unprepared for. Now you can't refer the business out because you're going to look like you're what. There's so many different ways this could be spun with this, and that's why, again, confidence is key. Confidence is key. And look, as much as I talk about a plan, you might think I'm like some big leg time planner. No, I'm super spontaneous. I struggle to force myself to plan, but I know how important it is to channeling energy into organized results. That's what your business is. It's taking the chaos, it's taking the energy and organizing it, making sense of it, and executing on it. But in order to do that, you got to be confident and you have to have trust. Trust with your clients, trust with your brokerage, trust with anyone it is that you're interacting with, trust with your vendors. So you want to work with trustworthy people. Kind of goes without saying. Like I said, a lot of this stuff is pretty common sense until you really think about it and you realize people, even though this is so common sense, people are just ignoring it. Oh yeah, trust is important, of course. That's the most important thing. Well, what did you do to verify that this is a trustworthy person, or do you just trust everyone? You trust everyone and everything, because if you do, this world is going to chew you up and spit you out. And maybe you can handle that. Maybe you're tough, but maybe you don't want to be chewed up and spit out. Maybe you just want to get on the fast track to success, and rather than like zigzagging through this whole thing, wandering through life, spending your whole life figuring instead of accomplishing, maybe that's the path you're on, and the path it is that you enjoy. More power to you. And look, real estate can be fun, but ultimately for 99% of people, real estate is a means to an end. If real estate didn't pay, I don't think there'd be anybody that would sell real estate. If there was no money in real estate, if there was no money to be made in real estate, I don't think anybody would sell real estate. No one would buy real estate. No one would sell real estate. The only reason why it's such a popular thing is because so many people make so much money off of it. There's tax advantages for it. There's so much that can be done. But it's risky, especially if you don't have the information, especially if you have information from bad sources. So again, if you want to get subscribed, so you get some good information dripping in your text messages every Wednesday and Friday. We're live for Ask the Instructor in the State of Real Estate. Text the word success. Let's put that one back up on the board here again. Text the word success to 813-333-2676. That's success, SUCCESS, 813-333-2676. And we'll send you out a text message. So you got a link right in your phone to pop right over to a video, pop right over to an article, pop right over to information that's going to help you grow your real estate business. So again, that's success to 813-333-2676. Thank you, Mike. Thank you, Mike. Mike is always here to put the captions in case Facebook is messing them up on us. So appreciate that, Sunset Mike. Thank you for being a loyal viewer, and thank you to everyone else who tunes in on a regular basis. You know, there's part of this that we enjoy doing. But honestly, the reason why we enjoy it is not because of the cameras and talking about real estate. The reason why we enjoy what we do at Tampa School of Real Estate is because of the benefit and the impact that we could provide to others. That's a rewarding feeling like no other. And if you've ever encountered it before, of being able to benefit and help others, you know how warm and fuzzy that can make you feel. So we love the warm and fuzzies. If this helped you out today, hit that little thumbs up button, share it with your friends and family. Again, you want to get subscribed, text the word success to 813-333-2676. It's about all the time we've got for today. We'll be back on Wednesday next week for Ask the Instructor. Until then, have a great weekend. Have a good, strong beginning of your week, and I'll see you on Wednesday for Ask the Instructor. Are you studying for your Florida real estate exam? If you are, you need to check out our Pass First Try strategy. You're going to love this. It's 4 steps that we break down the process to study for your Florida real estate exam. So you're set up to pass your Florida real estate exam, because that's what you're studying for, right? To pass your exam. It's 4 steps. Number 1, you learn the information. You've got to learn this to be able to pass the exam, but it doesn't stop at learning. Step 2, you've got to reinforce the basic, simple, key concepts. As you learn this information, keep reviewing the simple things. You don't need to know everything, but you got to review these basic key concepts. Step 3, you've got to test your knowledge. The exam's going to test your knowledge, so if you don't test your knowledge in advance, you won't find out if you know what you think you know until you take the exam. And then step 4 is be confident and prepared, because even if you know this material, you need to be confident that you know the material. Check out the full strategy at passfirsttry.com. That's passfirsttry.com.
The most powerful tool to study for your real estate exam is the Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate. We've used our years of experience in preparing students for the Florida real estate exam to bring you the most powerful exam study tool available. In the Question Simulator, you'll be able to go directly to a particular unit so you can focus on the sections where you need the most practice. We have also included the percentages of each unit so you know which units are the most important for your real estate exam. Every question will immediately give you detailed feedback, which is almost always more important than the question or the answer themselves. After completing all the questions in a particular unit, you can go through question by question and review any that you've gotten wrong. You could also print out a report at the end of each quiz. The Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate is 100% mobile compatible, so you can practice with test questions anywhere you have your phone with you. Enroll now at questionsimulator.com and get ready to pass your exam.
Have you been thinking about getting your Florida real estate license? Look, the process is probably easier than you think. We break it down step by step, how much it's going to cost, what it is that you need to do to get your Florida real estate license. Find out all of that and more at licensefl.com. Again, that's licensefl.com. You wanted to get your real estate license but have been struggling to find an instructor-led course that fits your schedule? I'm proud to introduce to you our on-demand instructor-led pre-licensing course. Now you do not have to make a course schedule fit around your schedule to take an instructor-led course. This course is designed to be 100% video-based instruction. And this video-based instruction, even though this is pre-recorded video, still gives you the opportunity to engage and interact with the information to ensure your understanding of important key concepts so you're prepared for your end of course exam and state exam. My name is John Carismo, and I'll be your instructor in this course. And I've been with the Tampa School of Real Estate for several years now and have helped personally thousands of people going through the licensing process. I'm excited to be your instructor throughout this course. Now, as you're going through the course, if you need help, we're just a click away. In the corner, you'll see a little yellow chat bubble where you can message our student support team, where you'll be able to get in touch with our team of licensed support professionals that have sales associate licenses, broker licenses, and instructor licenses as well. So you don't have just one instructor, you have a whole team of people from the Tampa School of Real Estate to help keep you on track, to help keep you in the important information, and to help keep you moving closer towards building your real estate career, getting it off the ground, and being able to go out there to join a broker, to activate your license, and start earning commissions. All of that is possible and so much more. But to get started, you need to enroll. So enroll today. Take advantage of the special offer we have on this on-demand pre-licensing course. You'll have instant access. As soon as you enroll, you'll get an email with information to log into your course online so you can get logged in and start completing your course today. You don't have to wait until the class starts. The class is already there waiting for you. So take action today and let's start building your real estate empire.